You know what? I'm surprised. I'm surprised that I've never seen this car in GTA before. This is the sort of car that I thought people would have jumped on the second it was announced and was brought out into the world and shown on Instagram. I thought that people would be rushing to GTA to remake it inside of GTA 5, but it's actually taken until now for us to get a law-friendly version of a very famous social media car. I'm sure, seemsing, to be honest, most of the time when I do a video, I end up missing out on an obvious car that people know about. I actually know about this car, so this is exciting for me. It's this. It's the recreation of Alex Choi's Lamborghini Huracan inside of GTA 5. Oh, actually, I should probably say Alex Choi. To be honest, Choi is a lot easier to say than Choi, so there we go. Yes, this is Alex Choi's Lamborghini Huracan, but the law-friendly version. This is actually the Pegassi Tempesta Pegasus. Or we could just call it like an exoskeleton scaffolding block Tempesta or something. And this does actually have a few tuning parts, so we're going to go ahead and park somewhere. Park in the middle here. Why not? And here it is. So this is not a Lamborghini mod. This is actually just the Pegassi Tempesta that has been turned into this exoskeleton version. In fact, let's spawn in that version so we can really compare them. And here are the two together in slow-mo mode, just so we don't get cars getting in the way. So here we have, right here, the exoskeleton version. And then we have the original. You can see where the changes are. Obviously, they've got rid of all of the wings and everything like that. They've basically just left the doors, the roof, and a little bit of the rear. But everything else has been cut and removed. And the exoskeleton has been put in its place, just like Alex Choi's Huracan. It's actually, when you look at the pictures, this thing is very, very close. But obviously, it's not exact, because instead of Lamborghini lights, we get the Tempesta lights, for example. So actually, we should probably make this a bit more like Alex Choi's version. And let's go ahead. I just want to go to paints just quickly. So for this one, we want to go for the primary color. Is it like, was it a satin black or was it just a black? I'm going to go for a satin black. We'll also get rid of the pearlescentness as well. And in the secondary color, it wasn't actually a red, was it? It was sort of like a purpley pinky color, wasn't it? Like a dark pink. So maybe if I go for the hot pink and then I just go to set RGB, and I'm just going to reduce some of that red there, maybe knock up a bit of the blue. I think that's sort of more like it, isn't it? It's really hard to tell because when you look at pictures of it, it sort of looks a little different depending on the lighting. This might be a little bit too pinky purpley now, but generally, there we have it. There's Alex Choi's version as a law-friendly car, which is interesting. This is the sort of thing that I thought like Rockstar would probably try and reference somewhere. Like having some sort of like additional kit that you can add to the standard one that just adds this massive exoskeleton frame. But we do actually have all of the air filters and stuff coming around just like in the original. You can go ahead and open up the doors as well. This is a Huracan, so this is just going to open up like normal. It doesn't really have a door hinge. Yeah, that's a bit of a concern. It doesn't have a door hinge. The doors just float. Maybe the real one does. Maybe the real one has floating doors. Who knows? And we actually have the hood that opens up at the back with the engine right there. And we don't have an open trunk because, well, it's just a carbon sheet over an exoskeleton. Oh, but there's a pizza in it. Oh, that's a nice little Easter egg. There's an empty pizza box under there. Oh, actually, you can kind of see it. There we go. We can see the pizza box right there. On the interior, it's pretty much just the same as the original. Right here. Yeah. Not much changed. Just that obviously the stitching is going to be tied to the exoskeleton color on this one. Right, and let's see what tuning parts we have for this. So, we have... we actually have nothing on the interior color, but I'm kind of curious if we can change that. We cannot. Okay, fair enough. I was going to make this super bright and colorful, but perhaps not. So on the spoiler here, we have the options of the stock. We have the carbon wing, big old carbon wing. I'm not entirely sure on the exact style that was used by Alex Choi in his one, but we do actually have this with the roof box as well. We also have that in the... That is mad. That is mad to have that with the matching secondary color as well. And then we have the track wing. That's a big wing. Oh, it's actually attached to the exoskeleton. That's pretty cool. Not sure if that's completely aerodynamic, but I mean, at this point, this car isn't really aerodynamic, is it? Then we have the large carbon wing. I think that one... Is that a bit more like the original? I'm not sure. Then we have the rear-mounted wing. And then we have the useless wing, which is a tiny little middle wing right there. I think for this one, I actually really want to go for that roof box thing just because it looks so ridiculous. And then on the front bumper, we do actually have some different changes. So this is actually pretty much identical to what Alex Choi's looks like. But we can also go with this style. We can have this style, which I quite like. Or we have that one as well. I actually really like that second one. I don't know why. It just, even though it doesn't really match this at all, because that one does actually have like a flat thing. I just like that little up bit in the middle. Makes it look a little sportier, I think. Perhaps a bit more aggressive even. On the exhaust, we have many options. We have the stock, we have the Centorno exhaust. We have the carbon exhaust. I quite like that because it's actually quite subtle and hides the exhaust away. Then we have the triple exhaust, like a Ford GT90 or something. Then we have the quad box exhaust. We have the quad exhausts right there. And if you're feeling fruity, we have the Huracan exhausts, which I tell you what, I don't mind the Huracan exhaust on specific Japanese cars, especially when they come out from the bottom. But when they're coming out from there in the car, it just looks weird. It looks wrong. Although some would agree that it always looks wrong. But I don't know, in this case, it just looks a bit off for me. I actually want to go for that carbon one because I think it just makes it nice and subtle. It's one of those things that doesn't have to be crazy because the rest of the car is already crazy. Even though we could go for the quad exhaust if we wanted. Then on the chassis, we can add a roll cage if you wanted to just add even more. We can even have an internal skeleton to go with our external skeleton. Yeah, that's pretty mad. And it's actually a wraparound as well. Actually, would that ever be a thing in that shape? Is that structurally sound? With that massive, huge bend? Is that even, I don't know, is that even possible? I don't know if that would be a thing or rather people would just go through the dash. Seems like the sort of dash that's just too big to have a wraparound on. But we'll add that just to add even more bars to this thing. We also have the fog lights, so we can have the doubles and the quads. So we can have this. This is more like Alex Choi's one, although his one just has the light showing, I think. Did he ever have covers on his? I'm not sure. And then we can upgrade our engine, our brakes, because I mean, I've seen videos of this thing. It is fast. Very fast. What have we got on extras here? Oh, yes, we've also got the light bar as well. That was another thing that he had. We also have the lights on the sides just to wrap around LEDs. And then we also have some lights on the back as well. And I want to go for my own colour scheme on this one. I want to change it up. See what other cool colours we can get. I'm thinking Little Tyke's car. Let's try it out. So for the Little Tykes, it's the old red and yellow cars. I put a picture on the screen. So I'll go for red on the main body. I mean, there's a lot of black still because there's this carbon fibre and the fact that there's no bodywork anywhere. But if we keep that red and then we go for secondary colour and then make that yellow. Okay. Actually, to be honest, the exoskeleton ends up being the main colour of the car. So maybe I'll invert that. So I'm going to put the exoskeleton to Formula Red. And then on the primary colour, I'm going to change that to yellow. Okay, that's a little bit more what I had in mind. This still looks so strange, though. It's very hard to get a good colour combination going, actually. What about, like, a vaporwave colour? Let's go for, like, pink. Should we go for pink on that side? Yeah, let's go for pink on the bodywork. Vista pink. And then secondary colour, we can go for the cyan RGB. Oh my god. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and change that box to a primary colour because I think that's going to match better. So we'll set that to primary colour roof box. That matches better. That matches better. Oh my god, this looks ridiculous. And now, let's just go for the wheels. And let's go for some street wheels on this one. In fact, should we try Formula 1 wheels? Just to make it even more crazy. That might be a little bit too much. I think that's a bit too much. But we'll get some tyre lettering going on as well. Oh, these are very thin. I'm going to have to adjust these. So I'm going to go for these. These look sort of like deep dish versions of the wheels that are actually on Alex Choi's car. So I'm going to go for those. And I think I'll just change the colours. And I'll just go for pink wheels. That's a slightly off pink compared to what we had, actually. It's okay. We can go on the paint index and find it, even though it's not on the list. Okay, so we can go to 137 to match. And there we go. This is just absolutely ridiculous. So on V-Stancer, there's not much to do because there's not really much to stance on this thing. I just wanted to make the tyres a bit wider. So there we go. That is absolutely insane. And to be honest, I don't even really need to do a second build with this because this is perfection right here. We've seen the Alex Choice version. We've seen my custom version. There we go. There's a double. I just wanted to check this thing out because it's absolutely ridiculous. And it's nice to see a law-friendly version of a real-life modded car. Now, to be honest, there are lots of them. But I've got to admit that I often don't know the car in question. Every time I do this, I'd like check out a car. And then people go, oh, don't you know that's so-and-so's car reference? I often don't know. But this one I've actually seen all over Instagram. Because, I mean, who couldn't see this? This was everywhere for a certain period. It was just all over Reddit and Instagram. So, naturally, I do actually know this one. So, it's cool to see this made as a law-friendly car instead of GTA 5. But that is it for this one. Just a quick one. Just to check it out. I'll put a link in the description where you can go ahead and download this for yourself if you wanted to. And drive this around inside of San Andreas. But, for now, I'm just going to park it here. Get ourselves a nice picture. There we go. Look at that. What a lovely picture. If you've watched all the way to the end of this video, you can say... patron. You can say patrons in the comment section below. Not reference to a Patreon, because I don't have one. But you can say patron in the comment section below. Just to let me know you watched the whole thing. And that is it for this video. I'll see you guys all next time. Goodbye.